Have you ever worried about communications on board? Well, we've got some experts here to talk to you about it today. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley podcast. Today I'm talking with Devon and Rich from CTech Systems. I want to give them a chance to talk to you a little bit about who they are and what they do.
Hi, Nika. Thanks. So I'm Devon, and I am the co-captain, skipper, I don't know. We don't do titles on our boat, of SV Mobert. She's a 45-foot Chinook that we have cruised from Seattle up to Alaska and down to El Salvador. And we're not done yet. We are going to be bringing her soon down to Costa Rica so that we can eventually get her back to Puget Sound and do some more Salish sea cruising this summer. We left our jobs and our home in May 2017 now, and we've been cruising since and absolutely loving it. We've been cruising with our two girls on board, Morgan and Ellie. When we left, Morgan was 6 and Ellie was 4. Now they are both 6 and 8. And then, of course, there's Richard, who's been with us the whole time. I'll let him introduce himself.
I'm Rich, and I'm the other skipper, captain, whatever you want to call it, on the board. And I'm an ex-IT person, I guess you'd call it. 20 years of IT experience in the corporate field. And like Devon, we quit my job in May, and we got on the boat and took off. So it's been amazing cruising with our kids and experiencing everything.
Totally cool. I love it when people talk. I mean, certainly as cruisers, we know that when you meet people, you know their boat name and you know a little bit about them in ways that people on land don't necessarily totally appreciate. And so thanks for telling us a little bit of your background. That's awesome. So CTech Systems, this is your company now, and I would love to know a little bit about how did you get into that? What made you choose that? Did you start it from scratch? Did you buy it? What made you decide to get into a business like that, particularly when you said you quit your jobs and you were going cruising? And sometimes business and cruising sounds like a great idea, and does it mix well, and why CTech?
So after we went cruising, we had both quit our jobs, and as Rich mentioned, he had a background in IT. And it's funny, actually, as we were getting ready to leave, we bought our SSB kit and our satellite phone from the old CTech Systems company. And at the time, the owner was looking to retire, and he was not only at the boat shows, he was not only peddling his equipment, but also his entire company. And so every time we'd walk by him at the boat show, he'd say, "Hey, you want to buy a business?" We said, "Nope, we're going cruising." But we also kind of thought in the back of our minds, it's almost a shame we're going cruising because it's technology related, which is Rich's forte. And so it would have been the perfect business for us. But we went ahead, we went cruising, and we had a fabulous time. And then after several months, about 9 months, we started realizing that, first of all, we needed to keep our brains active. And second of all, we needed to keep our cash flow active because we really, really love cruising. We realized that something in the boating community was a calling for us and something that we can do remotely and still be an active part of that boating community was really important for us. And so we started thinking a little more seriously about the opportunity to purchase CTech Systems.
Yeah, so we were having Christmas actually in Baja, Mexico. And we had family visiting us we were staying in a resort actually, and the boat was hauled out getting bottom paint done in Puerto Escondido. And we're talking about all this, and I actually decided to email the owner of the business and see if he was still looking for to sell his business. And funny enough, he was, and he emailed back somewhat ecstatically, but also I think he was pretty reserved as well, like not sure what to think. And so over the course of a couple of weeks, actually in December and January, we communicated with the former owner via satellite email while we were anchored in various harbors in the Sea of Cortez. Yeah, using satellite phone and Xgate satellite email and all the things we had bought from him. And so over that course of that month, we decided it was going to work out, and we negotiated for the business, and we did contracts and everything, all while at Anchor over satellite email. And took over the business 2 days before the Seattle Boat Show and exhibited 2018. Yeah. And we showed up at the boat show and had a booth and stood there wondering what the hell we just did.
So I think that's kind of interesting that you used the equipment that you now help people figure out that they need to buy the business that sold you that equipment. So that's pretty good. So those of you who are talking about wanting to run a business or negotiate for a business, perhaps offshore, CTEC Systems might be the people that you want to contact, because Devon and Rich not only have experience in buying this stuff, selling the stuff, but also using it for exactly the purpose that you might be talking about wanting to use it for when you're going cruising. So actually that brings me to my next question, which is what is your favorite thing about the work that you get to do with CTEC Systems?
My favorite thing is how close it keeps us to the cruising community, because as I mentioned, that's really important to us. It's a part of our identity, and that's not something that we could ever leave. We could never go back to our corporate jobs and just be 2-week-a-year cruisers. So staying connected with the cruising community, I absolutely love coming to the boat shows and talking to all the soon-to-be cruisers, helping them figure out what they need to do. I love the look on their face when they realize that they don't have to wait to retire to go cruising, because they can run their business remotely. And we're running 3 businesses remotely. We have a law firm, we have a bookkeeping company, and then we also, of course, have CTEC Systems. And so we have a lot of experience running a lot of different businesses remotely, and I just love helping people figure out how to make their own businesses work. So that's my favorite thing.
Similarly, I think I really enjoy talking to other people about what they're doing, and then and also what they need and what they're looking for. And we have clients and customers, everything from needing standard, I'm going cruising and I need predict wind and email, and all the way up to other clients that are saying I'm still running my successful business in South Florida, and I need to be able to have full house-like internet in the middle of the ocean in order to do it. So we work with all those people, and every one of them is unique and really interesting in many ways to talk to.
So it sounds like you guys are really spend some time with people to figure out what systems they need, and not to, like, if I came to you and I said, okay, I'm just a regular cruiser and I need to be in contact with my family, it sounds like you're going to work with me to make sure that I have the system that will work for me, and not, whereas if it was somebody who needed to run my own business, there's going to be a different setup. And so it's not that you have a one size fits all package. You're going to work with people specifically to help them figure out what they need and make that work for them.
Yeah, everyone's needs and everyone's setup, and of course everyone's budget is different. And we get a lot of customers who say, okay, I read about the Iridium Go online, I want the Iridium Go. And then we start talking to them about what they're actually planning to do with it, and that may or may not be the best solution for them. And so figuring out how to fit both the customer needs and the customer budgets, and then also making sure customers understand that there's more things you can do. It's more than the budget, and it's more than the equipment. It's just knowledge, tips and tricks of how to reduce your bandwidth, how to manage your bandwidth, how to save costs and use your internet and your communications tools wisely. That's a really important part of the equation.
So it sounds like consulting is actually a fairly large part of what you do. Is you work with people very, very closely to understand what they need, and also to help them learn from it, which is a total benefit from just, and a different thing than I'm going to go to West Marine and buy the single sideband. You guys provide a whole lot more than just that, and help people really get what they need. What do you wish people had in their background when they are thinking about communications, even if they're going to set it up themselves, but certainly as part of what they might be having a conversation with you about when they come to see you?
So I wasn't going to hog the mic on this one, but I'll go ahead and answer anyway, because I think Rich and I have different answers on this one. And my number one piece of advice to soon-to-be cruisers is that if you are planning on running your business aboard and making money aboard, that you start it as part of your 4-year plan, your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, whatever it is. Start thinking about it in year one and start setting your business up to work remotely. We do offer consulting to help people move their business and turn it into a remote operation. But however you do decide to do it, think about it in year one and start establishing your business to move toward a remote operation, at least for yourself, even if you have locally based employees, contractors, whatever it is, because that planning ahead is going to make a huge difference in your profitability as you're working and traveling, and your time, how much you're able to actually enjoy your work and your travel, and how effective it's going to be for you.
Mine is a little bit less business related, more communications related, but I would say that the biggest thing that I find people do, cruisers do especially, is that they'll buy things like Iridium Go's or AIS devices or such and they buy them in a completely isolated manner. So I need an AIS, they buy an AIS. I need internet at sea, I buy an Iridium Go. I buy a Wi-Fi extender, whatever that is. And I wish people would do, or hope people do, is to think about it in a more holistic manner about what are all the things that I want on my boat and what do I want to be able to do, and make sure that they are purchasing things that can work together. An Iridium Go is a great product, but it can't be integrated with anything else, as an example. So to be able to combine the different pieces into one system that can be used simultaneously and in a more holistic manner, I think it's just I can obviously help with that, but just think about those types of things before you buy them individually.
And to kind of add to that, I also like to help people understand that you can be empowered to work on your own boat. If you don't understand marine electronics, that doesn't mean that you can't work on your own boat. One of the things we do is we do offer consulting that helps with that systems integration. We can provide wiring diagrams so that even if you're not a marine electrician, even if you're not a marine networker, you can still work on your own systems, put your own systems on your boat, understand your own systems so you can fix them when you're out at sea. All it takes is a little bit of professional help to do some of that real deep research for you and get it all put together.
So talking about these systems, about as a system, is that, I don't know if I should coin this term or not, but there's a cruiser's Wi-Fi sprawl where everything you buy has Wi-Fi nowadays. So you buy an Iridium Go, it has Wi-Fi. You buy an AIS from Vesper, it has Wi-Fi. A new chart plotter has Wi-Fi. Everything has Wi-Fi now. And the challenge you run into is that now I have 5 different Wi-Fi networks on my boat, and each one has a single task. And how do I use my computer and my tablet and connect to one network and do everything without having to switch back and forth? And this is the reason I bring up systems, is because if you purchase things methodically as part of a system, you can avoid this Wi-Fi sprawl problem.
I love the combination of thinking about moving a business aboard, but also just I honestly had not thought about all of our electronics and the communications kinds of things, which, as you've pointed out, some of them are navigation. I mean, I think of AIS as navigation, but it is a communications tool. And Iridium Go obviously is a communications tool, but maybe there's single sideband in the mix and maybe VHF in the mix and all of that stuff that goes together. And I personally, as a cruiser, I hadn't thought about them as being a part of a system. So that's a really helpful reminder that these things are not individual and done on their own, but they all are a part of the system that you have on your boat, but you also can set it up ahead of time so that they're not just individual things going on. So that's awesome. Thank you for that information. So how do people, you've talked a bunch about different kinds of systems and different ways to think about things and also consulting services that you offer. How do people get in touch with you so that they can reach out? Because I believe that you offer a free consultation for Boat Galley podcast listeners. So just how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. The easiest thing to do is to you can email us or call us. Our website is www.seatech.com, and that's SEA-TECH.com. We also have the phone number right on the website at the bottom and the top. And then you can also email us at sales@sea-tech.com.
And we'll put a link to all of that in the show notes so people can find it pretty easily. But again, that's www.seatech, that's SEA-TECH.com. And Devon and Rich are standing by and ready to help you with systems and anything that you may need for communications. But thanks, you guys, for being a part of the cruising community and paying it forward with the work that you do and the sharing that you do, and also helping people understand the different kinds of communications that are out there and how best to integrate it for the way that they want to cruise and they want to live on their boats. Any last thoughts?
Just wanted to say, hope to see everybody out on the water.
Awesome. Me too. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Boat Galley podcast. New episodes released twice every week, once on Mondays and once on Thursdays. Please be sure to subscribe, find us in your podcast app, wherever you listen to your podcasts, share it with a friend, and please leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you.
So I talk to people at the boat show a lot, and they always ask, like, okay, how do I have all these different devices working together? So as an example, how do I download weather grid files and also view AIS data on my tablet or my computer at the same time? And without having those systems integrated, that you really can't. So putting it together into a single system, now I can view navigation and AIS data while also downloading weather grids at the same time.